Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. What are we going to be talking about today? Yeah, there's nothing in this box, and you'd be surprised. This is not a video on how to install a light fixture. This is a video on how to remove a light fixture, and we're not too happy with this light. And now, see, it throws a lot of shadows. Look at this. It throws a lot of shadows down here. There's all kinds of shadows because this light is kind of throwing out yellow and white. And I guess that's just how it is. I thought it was going to be one kind of like these. See how bright these are? These are LED lights, and it's all that nice bright color. The same, we installed some other ones over here, and this one here is that same bright white color like that. Okay, that's what I kind of thought this one was going to be like. Let's get this out of the light here. I thought this was going to be the same type of thing. It's still called an LED light fixture, but see how it's kind of yellowy on there? I don't know if you, yeah, you can see it. See, and it was the right size and everything to fit this small little vanity here in this small little guest bathroom, but that's just not going to be it. Eventually, and I'm going to make a video of it, is I'm going to install this one here. This is an LED light, and I believe these lights are going to be really bright like the other ones. And what do I have here? I've got some cut-in boxes. That's not part of this video. This video is only about how to remove a light fixture. And you know, obviously you're not going to be removing brand new light fixtures, generally speaking, but most light fixtures are the same, whether or not they're new or old to remove. Don't shy away from these. If you're not an electrician, that's okay. I'm not an electrician. I'm just an average Joe. If I'm an average Joe, that means you can do it too. So if that's what you want to watch, stick around. It might save you some money. I know it will. And it's a good thing we saved the receipt for that. And incidentally, most light fixtures, most new material, if you install something, if you don't like it, yeah, you can take it back, you know, even if you don't have the receipt. I believe I've got the receipt for this. I'll dig it up. Then they can put it back on my credit card or my gift card, whatever. But if you don't have a receipt, as long as you return it in a timely manner, even if you don't have your receipt, they'll give you a gift card that you can purchase other things at their store. Usually that happens at Lowe's and Home Depot. This happened to be from Home Depot. I'm just still shaking my head, wondering why this did not come out like I thought it was going to. Truthfully, I've never seen an LED with bright lights in it and kind of yellowy lights. And I think it's just the way that these pieces of glass refract the light. Okay, I'm hoping that's not going to be the case when I install this new one. We'll see. That'll be on a different video. Like I said, this one's just going to be how to remove a light fixture. It's easy. Now, what could be the hardest part of removing a light fixture? Hey, don't worry that there's electrical involved in here. As long as you've got the light switch turned off, okay? And I'm going to check this. I've got it turned off all the way at the light switch. And some people even say, hey, Joe, you really don't have the power off all the way. You really, truthfully, need to go back to the electrical panel and leave the light fixture on like that and start flipping breakers and turn it off that way. You can do it that way, but I've always had good luck turning it off right at the light switch, and that's probably the hardest part of knowing how to do things with electrical. As long as you've got the power off, you should be able to take these down. I'm just getting my my ladder, my step ladder, kind of figured out where to go here. I got it. Okay, here we go. I got it right up against the leg of the tripod. And this light fixture, as I recall, I mean, obviously all of them install slightly different, but I believe, yes, there's a screw at the top and there's one at the bottom. Oh, that's right. Before I do this, I'm going to take the mirror down. I don't like to do things if I know the mirror will come off. It comes off very easily on this particular one. There's no hooks around it. There's just a V section bracket on the back side. Well, like a little bracket here that kind of faces out like a Z, boom, boom, boom. And then there's one on the back side of the mirror too, okay? That way I don't hit it, you know, with this. And I think I'll just take this bottom screw out of here first. I've got the sink right underneath me, and since I'm in the guest bathroom, and what I should be doing is I'm gonna pull that up so that the pop-up valve is down in case I drop a screw. It doesn't go down the sink. If it does that, then I've got to mess with that. But it's simple enough. You take the trap apart underneath the sink, the adjustable P-trap, pull it apart, get a bucket, catch the water, all that good stuff. We're not here to do an extra project, are we? No. Okay. So there's my two screws. I'm hanging on to this because this thing is heavy. Okay. Now I've got the light turned off, and it's got some wire nuts here. Generally, you're going to have a white wire, a black wire, and a ground wire. So I'm just hanging on to this. This thing's probably 5 pounds. Okay. You'll soon figure out most fixtures. You gotta use two hands when you start going. This one happened to have a ground screw on it, and I wrapped the ground screw or the ground wire around the screw and then tightened it up, and then that kind of held it. See, that held it against the wall, see, when I was installing it. Well, you can do stuff like that. The screw they gave me, it's not with the Phillips head on it. They don't usually do that. Okay, now I've got to take that and figure out how I wrap that around there before. Good grief. Okay. I think I have to undo the screw further. Luckily, I can get it with my fingers. Okay. There. See, I just wrapped it around. There you go. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to set this down. And I'm just going to let the camera roll. For right now, see, I can just put the wire nuts back on here, and you know, that just protects in case somebody comes along, or in case you happen to hit the light switch or something like that. And now I've got just 2 screws in here that holds this backing plate, and this baby's ready to come down. It doesn't really take much. Well, I say it doesn't take much. Look at that. That one's not wanting to come out because it's attached. Look, it's attached with some plastic anchors. Isn't that something? The plastic anchor wants to come loose with the wires. Sometimes that happens, and I'll show you why it's attached with the plastic anchor here in a minute. If I can, good Lord, I'm gonna have to grab that with my pliers underneath because the plastic anchor keeps wanting to twist. And that's something. That's because I attach this with plastic anchors, and then I tighten these screws down pretty tight because I was trying to adjust it and make sure that the light fixture was going across straight and all that kind of stuff. And whenever you use plastic anchors, that's what kind of happens. And I'll see what I can do about this side. Maybe I can just get the whole thing now. And just pulling it isn't that. There you go. See, I had to put plastic anchors because look at this big hole in the wall. See that big hole? There's no box back there. And that's how the last person had it, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to run to the store to get something for that. But after this light fixture didn't work out, I thought I probably should really do this properly. I'm taking the screw out of this plastic anchor right now while I'm talking. And I'm going to show how to do this without those plastic anchors. That would have worked, but it's really not recommended to install a light fixture without a junction box. See, the last person years ago when they installed everything here, that's how they did it. They probably had this wire sticking out, or somebody drilled a hole and thought, just fish the wire up there, come on, we got to get out of here. Or, I have no idea how that happened, but then they installed their new, their old light fixture, which was new 15 years ago. They just mounted it up here with plastic anchors, and they called it good. And they thought, nothing's going to happen. Chances are probably nothing would happen. It's inside a wall, but they always say by code you're supposed to have that in a junction box in case you have the wires. Let's say the wires spark or something like that. You don't want it to go down inside the wall and start a fire or something like that. As it was, with me having this on there, I thought, you know, it's pretty safe. Except you still have this hole. I still have the wire nuts and stuff on the outside, you know, in here, up against this. I didn't push them back down inside the wall. I had them out, so I was trying to be as safe as possible without that box. But really, like I say, the best way is to install it with a box. And I'll show you what you can do to install your new light fixture next. Okay, this is going to be kind of like bonus material for you, so stick around, you might learn something. That's the reason why I've got to install a cut-in box. We've got wires coming out of the wall like that, and there's nothing. That cavity goes back inside the wall. You really should not be hooking up any electrical without a junction box. And because there's no existing junction box in there, what can we do? Well, I can install a cut-in box. This is called a cut-in box. See this deal back here? It's designed, you cut a hole a little bit smaller than the overall flange, and then you fit it, you push it in there, and this kind of pushes, as you push it in, it'll spring back through the wall just barely, and then it's designed to pop out on the back side, allowing you the 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch, whatever thickness your wall or ceiling is or whatever, and then you tighten the inside screws. Okay, in the old days, I say the old days, it's kind of funny because this used to be the only type of cut-in box they had. Okay, and I was going to use that when I went to the store, but I thought, you know, because I was looking at the back side. See, when you catch it, there's not much room left to cut your sheetrock, is there? There's hardly any of this flange that's going to stick over your wall. And again, the idea is you kind of depress it in a little bit as you're pushing in, and then it pops out behind the sheetrock, and then theory has it you're still supposed to have enough room left for the box not to sink into the wall. You see what I mean? Okay, and that's how they had to do it. But when I was at the store, I found this. This is a cut-in box, and this is just a little bit different. I believe I'm going to use this. And see, it has 3 screws here on the outside. These things pop up like this. See, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Okay, and what happens is you cut your hole. I'm just going to push these back down here, okay? You cut your hole, and also it doesn't give you much room for the hole. Look at this flange. I wish they would have made these with the flange a little bit wider. That's the only thing I don't like about this is see that little bit of a lip? There's not much. There's only about maybe a 1/16 of an inch before you hit the edge of here, all the way around. So basically I got about a 1/16 of an inch hole, smaller than this flange, to fit it in there. Then once I push it in there, I take my screwdriver and I'm just turning it like I'm gonna tighten this up, and the first time you turn it, boink, this pops up. Now see, this is a brand new one, so what I normally like to do, and see, I got plenty of clearance here. My wall is only 1/2 inch. This is probably 3/4 of an inch. What I like to do on these is start this screw in there a little bit, you know, to make sure it's going to slide properly. And man, this thing is giving me some fits already. See, I've got it. There we go. That's why I like to do that first, because when I get ready to tighten this up, I want to make sure that this doesn't fold over or something as I'm screwing it in, thinking, because see, once it pops up, then you keep tightening the screw, and this is supposed to suck this back in towards the box. Okay, but if I can start it first and get it going, man, it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, now it's coming slightly easier. Whew. As long, I'll measure the wall, and I'll give this about, you know, if it's a 1/2 inch, I'll give it a long 1/2 inch or 5/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I'll tighten it, and well, I'll loosen it like that and let it go down a little bit. Okay, push it into the wall, and then flop it back out. Okay, and they give you knockouts on here, and these are kind of like spring-loaded knockouts. What I'm going to do this time, usually I take I take that out all the way. I just bend it out of the way and grab it with a pair of pliers in here, twist it out of there, and I just leave a hole. This time I don't think I'm going to do that. See, when you depress it, when you push in on it, it depresses in. You see that? And that's how I'm going to do it. That way when I put the wire in there, it pushes the wire in there and keeps the wire nice and snug in there. Okay? And that's how I'm going to do it with that cut-in box.